welcome to the first edition of the Visual Recreation Radio, so Recreation TV. And I'm so honored to have for my first guest, Calkoen, the inspirational speaker all the way from New Zealand here in New York City. A blessing to have you here, man.
Pleasure, man. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Now, you've went through so many different transitions along your journey, man. And from someone whose website states, I was born with cerebral palsy, but today the only labels I need are my name and occupation. Calkoen, inspirational speaker. From the time where you first were diagnosed to writing that down as a professional speaker, when would you say your real recreation began?
Yeah, man. Well, firstly, it's really cool to be here. Like, the first video edition of Recreation, totally awesome. I guess talking about my speaking and how I got into it.
Yeah, when did it start?
Yeah,
man?
well, I always believed that I was here for a purpose, you know, that I was here to live and deliver a message to the world. And growing up, I played around, I did sports, I did drama, I gave everything a go, because that's what you've got to do. And then when I was in the late teenagers, I was asked to speak to a distinguished group of businessmen and businesswomen from my local community, and I really saw that as an opportunity. And I prepared my speech, and I had it all written down, like word for word, and even the jokes were all written down. And it's not that I looked at that paper, but I wanted to show them that I really valued and respected their time. And you know, it's still available on YouTube today, my first talk, and it was rusty, it was sketchy, but it captured the essence of what I still speak about today. And then from there, I just went with the momentum.
Yes, sir, man. Well, I want to see that tape. You said on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
Calkoen.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to check it out. Now, I got some questions for you, man, that I am so eager to get your take on. So when you hear someone say they're singled out, put in a position where they're looked at as not supposed to succeed, I'm quite sure with your background, you've went through different phases. There might be the voice that can truly understand where they're coming from because of your path, but then there's another voice that might start to erupt. What I'm curious about is, what do you tell that person that is feeling down, like they don't have an opportunity to win? What do you tell that person based off the journey that you went through?
And it's a big question, right? And I think it's really important is you've got to have that empathy. You've got to know where they're coming from, because it's a powerful position for someone to have that trust in you to share what's going on. So you've got to hear that, but you've really got to, and that at first when people used to share their challenges, I would be really empathetic, and I'd be like, oh, you know, like cotton wool. And then I thought, we've got one life. We've got one opportunity, and we were born here to become not just everything that we think we can be, but more than we ever imagined. And we get there through the pursuit of excellence. And I am so strong and passionate about that, because I have seen hundreds, thousands of stories from all different people who have overcome the most adverse situations to become absolutely incredible in this world. So you come to me and you say you're having a bad day. Everyone has a bad day. You say you've had a bad year. We might all have bad years. I've had bad years. I had years when I knew I walked funny. I knew I taught funny. When I could have easily been, you know, I've got to be the disabled kid, and that where I am is where I've got to be. But I believe that there is a bigger purpose, you know, and that belief can come from whatever. It can come from your parents, it can come from friends and family, it can come from reading books. And I remember reading books about people that I I could never ever be like, because they were them and I was I. Everyone else is taken.
Yes.
But what inspired me about these people is that they've been able to turn their dreams into their reality through celebrating what makes them different. And whether there's a hip-hop star, that's their view of the world. Whether it's a politician, whether it's Steve Jobs setting up Apple, you know, they've all had a different view on the world. So difference is a good thing.
Yes, yes, yes. Man, you got me ready to do some mileage out here on West 4th. Thank you, man. Based off my lack of experience with people with cerebral palsy, man, I want to tell you, you are literally the first friend that I have been around that's representing the possibilities. So for myself and for the people all over the world listening, please, in your own words, educate us on what cerebral palsy is.
Right, so cerebral palsy, basically what you see is what you get. I walk funny, I talk funny, but I don't take any medication, there's no operations, and if there was a magical cure to make my disability disappear, I would have to think twice about taking it, because I can't see my life going in any better direction. But what cerebral palsy is that it's the cerebral part of your brain, and it affects the way in which messages travel around my body. So instead of them traveling smooth like they do for most of you, mine get a little bit excited. And they hit speed bumps along the way, meaning that my limbs are a little bit shaky, and so too is my voice.
Okay.
But and it can affect everyone differently.
Okay.
You know, that's really important to remember.
Okay. Another question I have is, because you did kind of go into the limitations, what was it that your parents did to get you into that point of training and breaking through so many of those things that may have limited others along your journey?
I pinch myself, you know, because this is the last thing that we ever thought I'd be doing, you know, in terms of being told that your biggest challenges would be the way I walk and the way I talk. And as you say, I'm now here in New York as a speaker, and it's my speaking that has got me here. And I think what did it is that my mum and my dad, they're superstars in terms of they had their hopes and dreams that everyone has when they're going to become a parent, and they simply just held on to those hopes and dreams. You know, they wanted me to embrace the world, to embrace the opportunities, and what I needed to achieve that. They supported, and I went to physio every single day for the first 7 years of my life. I did speech therapy, I did physiotherapy, like anything ending in therapy, and I've done it. And there were moments when it's like, why am I doing this? But the real breakthrough for me was, you know, instead of worrying about the way I walk, I decided to be inspired by the actions of the greatest athletes in this world. Because dream big, achieve more. You know, you try to be an athlete, walking is going to come. Instead of worrying about the way I talk, I decided to be inspired by the voices of the greatest speakers in this world to ensure the way I talk would become my passport to traveling this world. And instead of worrying about what people think about me, I decided to give them something to think about.
Yes.
And that's why you and I are here.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes, yes. Awesome, man. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, out of all of the moments that you've went through along this path, I know every single one was meant and you would not change anyone at all. But what would you consider to be one of the lowest points of your journey?
Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't change anything. You know, things happen to us for a reason. But my lowest point was it was losing that self-belief, and that's what it was. You know, at the time I was blaming it on my age, on my situation, on being disabled or not knowing people. But what had really happened is I lost my belief. And because of that, I started giving up on everything that would build a dream. I gave up on sport. I gave up on the ability to go out and make friends. And in a big way, I was giving up in life. You know, I was dropping out of school. I was doing things that wasn't part of who I am.
Wow.
And it only lasted for maybe 18 months, but it's a tough 18 months when you're feeling angry and when you're feeling frustrated with yourself. And yeah.
Wow. And
but going through that, you know,
Yes.
without going into details too much, enables me to do what I do now, because you've got to, the most important thing in this world is our people. And in order to build meaningful connections with people, you've got to have understandings of what other people go through. You know, when we accept diversity, we bring about unity. And I was listening to John Lennon's song last night, Imagine, you know, and imagine if we had no countries and there'd be no reason to fight or to die for. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to see people for who they are.
And it's so amazing, because I would love to hear this one. What would today's version of Cam say to the version that was going through those 18 months where you were in a whole nother space? I am so eager to hear your answer to this one.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'd give myself a big shake and a slap on the face, you know. That's what I want to do, but you've got to be a bit more tactful than that.
Yeah.
And I guess it's, you know, if something wasn't difficult, it wouldn't be worth doing. And there's a quote from a great New Zealander, first New Zealander don't quote me on that, but he won the America's Cup in sailing. Peter Blake, he went on to do great stuff around the world in terms of our planet, and he had a quote, but if something isn't difficult, it probably isn't worth doing. And you and I were speaking about it before, and about those things that build us up for who we are. And we've got to dig deep. We've got to find that belief. We've got to ask ourselves, why are we here? Why are we doing those things? Why do we go to school? Why do we go to jobs? You know, is it to just achieve this, or is it working towards something else? And whatever that something else is, or whatever that is up to every single one of us. It's up to every single one of us to decide who we're going to be. And we don't want to overcomplicate stuff.
Yes. And on the flip side, what would you say along this journey has been the most gratifying moment that Cam Calkoen has had as a worldwide inspirational speaker? A
lot of people can travel the world, but when we get to build connections and relationships with people, that's the experiences that we hold on to. You know, my mum and I have been in here in New York, and there's a big list of stuff: Empire State Building, Brooklyn Bridge. But what we love is just getting out there, walking around, seeing how people do their things. You know, absorbing the environment is really cool. But going back to your question of so
the most gratifying.
The most gratifying is it's been that speaker. It's been that speaker. It's going from a place of I talk funny. How can I ever be a speaker? To not knowing that the speaking profession even existed, to getting onto stages where a young kid is going to say, Cam, I want to represent my country in sport, and now I believe I can. To the real estate agent who comes up to me and says, Cam, we've had a really tough year, you know, the dream's not going quite so well, but you know what, we've heard what you've said, and we're just going to hold on to that dream a little bit longer. And then 2 years later, they've contacted me and said, we've just had our best year ever. Or for the grandmother here in New York City, who comes up to me, 72 years of age, and says, Cam, thank you for reminding me that at 72, I can still dream big.
Wow.
Stuff like that, dude. You can't, that's what dreams are made of.
Yes.
That's what my dreams made of, and that's why I do what I do.
Yeah. You mentioned something during your breathtaking performance, and I'm gonna tell you, man, every time I see you and you've evolved from last year, it keeps getting better and I keep leaving more charged. So anyone that's blessed to have you in front of their audience, it's truly a pleasure. You mentioned a gentleman that was a role model to you along your journey, a TV personality. So first things first, I'd like to know, who is that gentleman?
Yeah, so he was a guy called Jeremy Wells,
Okay.
and he was a TV presenter, media profile back home in New Zealand.
Secondly, what do you say for someone right now that's feeling like they want to evolve? How important would you say a role model is in their life if they want to truly walk into that path of recreation?
Role models are rather inspiration, you know, rather people who we can look up to and get little gems of wisdom from to become all that we can be. And I was fortunate in this case that I got a written communication from someone who I held up here in terms of what he did and his view on the world and how he went about doing it. But we live in a modern age where we can look stuff up on YouTube, we can read books, we can have posters on a wall that inspire us and remind us of what people have achieved. And then take the little bits, you know, my bedroom wall as a kid, I had Michael Schumacher, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, at first I thought my name had to be Michael. but what I took is obviously I didn't become a basketball player, I didn't become a Formula One driver, I didn't become a musician, but I took little bits of each of those people. And I'm sure they've influenced who I am today.
Wow.
In terms of ambition, in terms of creativity, in terms of business minds, in terms of uniqueness and innovation.
Yes.
And we're always innovating and developing ourselves.
Yes, an ongoing journey. You mentioned it in the beginning, but exactly when was that first speaking engagement that started this path of a positive avalanche toward the speaker that I'm talking to right now?
I'm 32 now and I was 17, so we'll go to math on that. But, I was representing my country in sport, and a group had given me a chunk of money to represent my country, and as part of a thank you, I was speaking at a luncheon for businessmen and businesswomen, and that was my very first speaking opportunity. Very close to that speaking opportunity, I was speaking at a school, and during that speech I felt a sneeze coming on. And I'm doing everything I can to keep speaking and not sneeze, which is going pretty well, until about halfway through, and my nose, it just erupted. And we're talking about snot boogers everywhere.
Wow.
And I haven't got my handkerchief, like I am not prepared for this to happen. And my manager at the time, he came walking up on stage behind me, and he didn't have a hanky, he didn't have a tissue, but he had my very own shirt for me to blow my nose on. And I did. And they say that support is the foundation to our success.
Yes.
And this guy allowed me to blow my nose on his shirt, which was the ultimate in support in terms of it was taking a really awful, bad, unimaginable situation and seeing the positive. And challenges and opportunities are all around us, and what we do with them is up to us. And the fact that I can still speak about that story today, at the point that I thought that was the worst thing to be happening in my career, created one of those gem stories but people all over the world have got joy from.
Yes. Do you remember when you really started to think, I want to do this for a living? Like, please share how that transformation went on. That I definitely want to hear.
I remember it clearly. I was back in New Zealand speaking at a corporate organisation, and the talk went well. And at the end of a talk, a New Zealander called Billy Graham, he was a boxing champion and an amazing youth worker, and one of New Zealand, if not Australia's most celebrated speakers. He's spoken on the $1 Million Round Table here in the USA, and he came up to me and he said, Cam, if you can do what you did here, you can do it anywhere.
Wow.
And when people give us positive feedback, there's a few things we can do. We can ignore it with statements like, oh, you know what, he probably just said that to be nice. We can think about it. We can think about it so much that we don't know what to do, or we can get up and we can chase it. And I decided to chase it, and I put Billy's inspiration into my backpack of belief and started to take on the world. And I've gone through the process of giving a talk for free, to giving a talk for dinner, to speaking in front of 5 people, to speaking in front of 5,000 people at a very professional level.
Yes, and we are going to be on the stage together.
Oh yeah,
very
man,
soon,
I can't wait. Watch this space, right? Watch this space.
Now, what is your average day like in New Zealand as an inspirational professional speaker? Well, how does the average day go?
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that question earlier, because obviously you gave me these questions to think about, and I was thinking, I don't know if it really is an average day. like there's stuff that I've just got to get done. Okay. There's stuff that I've got to do, but you could be, there's travel in my day, there's entertainment in my day, and there's connection in my day. Connecting people with inspiration, connecting people with their dreams. And what I do to achieve those things can be quite different. There's no set out thing, apart from as a speaker, I know I have a very privileged opportunity, and that is to share a message for people who are in the room, and so that message has to make the most of their time. It has to be concise, it has to be inspirational, it has to be one of the best things that they've heard. And so I am observant, I'm looking at my surrounding, I'm going, what's going on here that can make me stronger, that can make the people I connect with even more inspired.
For anyone that's looking at this, that's like, I want him at our next event immediately. In your words, explain what they're signing up for when they bring the Cam Calkoen experience into their event.
Okay, I mean, it's bending perception. First off, I walk onto the stage. Obviously I walk funny, I talk funny, but very quickly, that's gone. Okay, so we've already bent one perception. That's the perception of what someone can and can't do. But then we're going to get into the nuts and the bolts. We push the white elephant and pink elephant out of the room, we get that done, and we talk about the hard work, the passion, the commitment, the goal setting, all this stuff that a lot of other speakers obviously are going to talk about. My point of difference is connecting on the emotional level. Going on a roller coaster, of laughing, of crying, of going through this story. Because when we connect on an emotional level, we remember that. So emotion leads to memory, but therefore creates inspiration. And I've got to create long-lasting events. And it is those stories that create that long-lasting inspiration, that leave people going, you know what, we had no idea what to expect when we got Cam Calkoen as a speaker. But God, we're glad we did.
Yes. Man, it's truly been an honor to have you, man, all the way from New Zealand, and to be the first guest on the visual version of Recreation Radio. We're gonna call it Recreation TV. Please end our show with some words directly from the heart of Calkoen. And I want to tell you again, man, it has truly been an honor. I appreciate you. So end it with some words of wisdom so we can use that in our journey as we go toward full excellence.
Oh, yeah. It's as simple as having that dream and believing in that dream. And believing means that we're going to do the hard work. We're going to be committed and we're going to be training. You know, Walt Disney once said, if we can aim to get 1% better every single day, we will have recreated ourselves every 100 days. And when we look to achieve those unique personal bests, when we celebrate what makes us different, when we look to give ourselves to other people, to be a giant in people's lives, and focus on what our strengths are, when we celebrate what makes us different, because difference is what people notice in this world, but the only thing limiting us is the imagination. So
Wow.
dream big and achieve more.
Wow, thank you so very much.
You're
Cam.
so welcome, buddy.
It's been a
Thank you
honor,
for having
a
me.
blessing, and you are going to be helping this world in a powerful way, as you've already have, and we're going to work on some things together, man.
Oh, man,
Much love to you.
Cheers. Thanks
Thank
for sharing the journey.
Thank you, brother.